5 plant mistakes that new plant owners make. My name is Maria. I am the owner of Plants and Souls and a plant consultant, and these are the top 5 mistakes that I see new plant owners make when taking plants home. Number 1 is watering on a schedule. I go over this in more detail in another video, but watering on a schedule and not really taking into account what your plant is trying to tell you can be a dangerous game to play with your plant. Sometimes, depending on the environment, the temperatures, the time of the year, plants can dry out faster or slower than we're used to. So instead of just watering weekly on a schedule without checking your plants, I recommend to take a look at your plant and see what it's trying to tell you. If it hits the week mark and your plant still looks good, you check the soil, it still feels moist, skip it. Check it again maybe 4 days later and see what's going on then. If you're midweek and your plant is looking dry and it's looking thirsty, water it. Just because you haven't gotten to that designated watering day doesn't mean you can't water it. If your plant is asking for water and it hasn't hit that 7-day mark, just give it some water. So instead of going on a strict schedule, I say just kind of watch your plant, monitor the plant, see what your plant's trying to tell you. They're really good at letting us know what they need if we pay attention to them. Number 2 is wiping the leaves. So plants like fiddles, snake plants, they have long, broad leaves that accumulate dust. If the dust is on these leaves, then that's getting in the way of the plant actually being able to absorb and retain the sunlight and all the rays and everything that it needs from the sun. So wiping the leaves with either like a microfiber cloth. They sell microfiber gloves that make it easier. I've even personally used socks before. Just slip a sock on and wipe down the leaves. This not only helps with the dust and helping the plant absorb everything that it needs from the sunlight, it also helps in pest management. If you're cleaning the leaves and you're wiping them consistently, if there does happen to be some pests, you kind of are wiping it off before it becomes a full-blown invasion that is harder to deal with later on. Number 3 is fertilizing. A lot of people forget to fertilize their plants or they just don't think of it, but just like us, plants need to be fed. The soil itself only has so much nutrients. Once the plant goes through this nutrients, there's really nothing left in there, so it's up to us to keep adding it into the plant. So I recommend usually once a month, every 4 weeks, add some fertilizer to your plant, and I promise you that you will notice the difference in the health, the vibrancy, the growth of the plant. Number 4 is sun location. Once you bring a plant home, I always suggest to look it up, learn where it comes from, where it lives in its natural environment. Is it a plant that lives at the bottom of the forest where it's dark? Or is it a plant that's more at the top where it gets a lot of sunlight? And then if we are able to replicate those conditions in our home, that's how we get plants to thrive. So if you take a plant that lives more in the bottom of a forest, kind of like a fern, and you place it right at your window where it's going to get a lot of scorching sunlight, it's not going to be happy. The sunlight and the plant are not going to match. It's not going to meet its requirements. It's going to surpass its requirements. The plant is going to burn, toast, and then you're going to feel terrible, like you're just terrible at plants, but really it's just that the light requirement wasn't met. Or if you take a plant that's from the tropics, like a cactus, where it can take a lot of light and it needs a lot of light to live and thrive, and you stick it in a dark corner of your home, it's going to mush really quick because the soil's not going to dry out. It's not going to live very long. I mean, it will live a while, but it's not going to thrive. And I find that's where people get confused sometimes. But yeah, so just matching the light requirements, looking up the plant, learning about the plant, learning where the plant comes from, and matching those light requirements to where you're placing it in your home so that it gets exactly what it wants, exactly what it's used to, and then it is going to thrive. Number 5 is not repotting. If we don't repot our plants, they run out of space. And if they run out of space, then they're going to struggle to keep growing. The new growth they push is not going to be healthy. It's going to kind of maybe just die off right from the start, shrivel up, be mushy. It's just not going to be healthy. So it's important to check your plants. If you see the roots kind of starting to come out through the bottom, then I would say it's time to repot. You can just kind of pull it out. This one, like for example, you can see here, there's not that many roots. There's still a lot of soil. So this one I would still leave in here. I would say it's not ready to be repotted yet. You don't want to go too big too fast either, because then if you have too much soil that the roots aren't getting to, then that soil's just staying moist, and some plants won't like that. Like for example, the snake plant. If we were to put this in a bigger pot right now, the extra soil on the outside, the roots aren't going to be kind of absorbing the water from, so it's going to make the plant sit in wet, soggy soil, which we don't want. So this is still okay. I would wait maybe a few months. I like to repot in spring, so I check them yearly. But this guy could go a while longer in this home. But then if we look at something like this, where you already see the roots kind of like starting to come out the bottom, and you take it out like this, then this, we say that's most of its root. There's not a lot of soil left. So again, there's not a lot of nutrients. There's probably, the water's drying out very, very fast, which the plant's not going to like. So this guy, I would go up 2 inches. So right now he's in a 3-inch pot. I would go to a 5 or a 6 inch, because this is a 3.5, and spider plants tend to grow fairly quickly. So then this one would be ready to repot. If we don't repot this guy, he's just going to run out of room. It's going to suffocate. You'll see the new growth will start to yellow. It's not going to be the healthiest. And we want him to be healthy. It's a him, apparently. So we want him to be healthy, so we want to make sure we repot him into a bigger home so that it can keep on growing, its roots can keep on spreading, it can keep on growing and living its best life, thriving just like how we want it to. Those are the top 5 plant mistakes that I hear about when people come into the shop wondering why their plants aren't doing the best. I hope these help you out, and make sure to check this video here to learn more about plants.